Good, happy Monday evening. It is Monday, January 5th, 2026. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Monday evening edition of WRMK News 12. We have a lot of news to get to on this Monday evening, so let's get started right now. And also, we have sports for all of you as well. First, let's begin with the news. First up, Maduro maintains innocence as a federal case moves forward in New York. I am innocent. I am not guilty. I am a decent man. I am still president of my country, Nicolas Maduro declared as he appeared in a Manhattan federal court alongside with his wife. Both entered not guilty pleas to the charges against them during their initial appearance. The court scheduled their next hearing for March 17th. Until then, the couple will remain in federal custody at MDC Brooklyn. Maduro's capture unlikely to jolt U.S. gas prices, analyst says. The reported capture of the Venezuela President Nicolas Maduro has renewed attention on one of the world's most oil-rich countries, prompting questions about whether political turmoil there could translate into higher gasoline prices in the United States. Energy analysts say the effect is likely to be minimal, at least in the near term. Patrick D. Hahn, head of petroleum analysts at Gas Buddy, noted that Venezuela's current oil production represents only a tiny share of global supply. Right now, Venezuela's oil output accounts for about 0.4% of worldwide production, Dehan said. While gas prices will continue to fluctuate through 2026, Venezuela is unlikely to have a meaningful impact on prices for several years, if at all. Even under the most optimism circumstances, Dehan said a recovery of Venezuela's oil sector would take years. Large portions of the country's energy infrastructure would need to be rebuilt, and international oil companies would face considerable financial and political risk before committing new investments. Venezuela has previously taken the assets of several U.S. oil companies, Dehan said. Given the uncertainty surrounding any new regime, companies may be hesitant to spend billions of dollars only to risk losing those investments again. Those challenges, combined with already stubborn global oil prices, make it unlikely that Venezuela's political situation will trigger short-term price spikes at U.S. gas stations, according to Gas Buddy. Looking ahead, the company is projected relevantly favorable conditions for American drivers. Gas Buddy forecast the national average price of regular gasoline in 2026 at $2.97 per gallon. If realized, that would mark the first time the annual average falls below 3 since 2020, the fourth straight year of declining average gas prices nationwide. Analysts caution, however, that seasonal swings are still expected, with prices typically rising in the spring and early summer before easing later in the year. For drivers like Chris Francis, even moderate relief matters Everything helps, he said. A little bit more money in my pocket. Pepper spray incident outside downtown Dover nightclub under investigation. Dover police are investigating a disturbance outside a downtown nightclub that left a bar bouncer and a customer pepper sprayed early Sunday morning. Officers were called to Central Avenue after reports of a person armed with a knife and pepper spray outside Fugo, a recently opened bar and nightclub. The call came in during the early morning hours, according to Dover Police Department. Downtown Dover is a very safe area to go out, Lieutenant Matthews said. We very rarely have incidents like this at all. Police said they encountered Rum Brian, 35, outside the bar. Brian lives in an apartment above Fugo and had earlier gone into the establishment to complain about the noise, authorities said. He later returned and allegedly threatened to stab someone before deploying pepper spray on a bouncer and a patron. As far as we know at this time, there are no serious injuries, Lieutenant Matthews said. They've both recovered and are doing well. Owners of Fugo credited their security staff with acting quickly to prevent the situation from escalating inside the venue. In a statement, they said they are fully cooperating with the investigation and thanked the police for their response. Their actions helped avoid a dangerous situation and helped keep our patrons safe. And the owner said this type of behavior has no place in our establishment or our community and will not be tolerated. Mayor-elect Dennis Shaheen also addressed the incident, calling it regrettable, but praising the response. Anytime a particular violent event occurs in our city, it's regrettable, Shaheen said. Fortunately, the situation has handled without injury to anyone involved. I appreciate the ability of the Dover police to keep the incident like this from escalating. Police officials said regular training helps officers prepare for a wide range of scenarios. We train for our 5 times a year around incidents like this, Lieutenant Matthews said, citing defense tactics and firearms proficiency. We do a very good job training here, and we're well prepared for incidents like this. City officials confirmed Brian had been employed as a custodian for the city but is no longer employed as of Monday morning. Brian has been charged with felony criminal threatening, simple assault, and disorderly conduct. He is scheduled to appear in court in January. Beau therapist charged with sexual assault following month-long investigation. A pre-licensed therapist working in Beau is facing multiple felonious charges after investigators say he sexually assaulted a patient during a session in his office. Police said Daniel Thalbert, 51, of Laconia, was arrested Monday following an investigation that began in August. According to the Beau Police Department, officers received a report alleging Thalbert sexually assaulted a patient while she was in his office on South Street in Beau. Investigators said Thalbert was working as a pre-licensed therapist at the time, meaning he had not yet obtained a full professional license but was practicing under supervision as part of licensing process. Bow police chief confirmed that definition. Salbert has been charged with 2 counts of felonious sexual assault and 1 count of aggravated felonious sexual assault. He is being held at the Merrimack County House of Corrections pending an arraignment scheduled for tomorrow. Police are urging anyone with information related to the case or anyone who believes they may have been a victim of similar conduct to contact Bow Police as the investigation continues. Families displaced by Manchester apartment fire may return home soon, officials say. Some residents displaced by a fire in Manchester apartment building early Monday may be able to return to their homes by the end of the day, according to fire officials. The fire broke out around 6:45 a.m. at a 9-unit apartment building on Amherst Street. Firefighters arriving on scene reported smoke coming from 2 third-floor windows. Crews entered the building and were able to quickly bring the fire under control, officials said. According to the Manchester Fire Department, 18 people were displaced and transported to the city's public works building to stay warm following the fire. Right now, 3 of the 9 units are uninhabitable, said Fire Marshal Mitch. I'm in discussions with the landlord, who is working to bring in repair crews to re-energize 6 of the units, restore gas service, and get the heat back on so some families can return home. Mitch said the landlord is also making arrangements to secure alternative housing for the 3 families whose apartments were too badly damaged to occupy. The American Red Cross, along with other local organizations, assisted displaced residents by providing blankets and basic supplies. Residents described the tension and confusion morning. A couple living on the 2nd floor said they smelled smoke but reported that their smoke alarm did not activate. It didn't feel real, one resident said. Honestly, it was just kind of like, is this really happening? No injuries were reported. Fire officials said the cause of the fire remains under investigation. Elderly pedestrian killed in Manchester crash. Investigation ongoing. An 81-year-old man was killed Monday evening after being struck by a vehicle in Manchester, police said. According to the Manchester Police Department, the crash occurred around 6:15 p.m. near the intersection of Cypress and Valley Streets. The victim's name has not been released, pending notification of family. Police said the man was struck by a car driven by a 16-year-old who was traveling eastbound on Valley Street at the time of the collision. Authorities have not yet determined whether the victim was in a crosswalk when he was hit. The cause of the crash and circumstances leading up to it remain under investigation, police said. Anyone with information is urged to contact the Manchester Police Department's traffic unit. And that is your news. Now we're going to switch some gears now and talk about some sports news. And in your sports news for this evening, Patriots dominate Dolphins cruise to a 38-10 victory. The New England Patriots delivered a commanding performance yesterday, rolling past the Miami Dolphins 38-10 in a decisive win that showcased their balance on both sides of the ball. New England set the tone early, jumping out to a 14-0 lead in the first quarter behind an aggressive offense and a defense that kept Miami in check. The Patriots continued to control the game in the second quarter, adding a field goal to take a 17-10 advantage into halftime after the Dolphins briefly responded with their only points of the game. Any hopes of Miami comeback were quickly executed after the break. The Patriots came out firing in the third quarter, scoring 14 unanswered points to stretch the lead and seize full control. New England added another touchdown in the fourth quarter to cap a dominant all-around effort. The Patriots' defense was particularly stiffening, holding Miami scoreless in 3 of the 4 quarters and limiting the Dolphins to just 10 total points. Offensively, New England showed efficiency and explosiveness, scoring in every quarter and consistently winning the field position battle. With the victory, the Patriots improved to a 14-3, reinforcing their status as one of the league's top teams heading into postseason. Miami, which fell to 7-10, struggled to find a rhythm and was unable to keep the pace once New England built momentum. For the Patriots, it was a statement win, one that underscored this depth, discipline, and readiness for the challenges ahead. Celtics take early lead over the Bulls in the first quarter. The Boston Celtics jumped out to an early advantage against the Chicago Bulls as their matchup continued Tuesday night. With 6:08 remaining in the first quarter, Boston held a 13-9 lead, setting an energetic tone on the offensive end, while tightening up defensively. The Celtics scored consistently in the opening minutes, capitalizing on early possession to build a moderate cruise. Chicago stayed within striking distance, finding points early, but struggled to slow Boston's pace. The Bulls' offensive showed flashes, yet the Celtics' pressure and ball movement helped keep control of the early flow. Boston entered the game with a 22-12 record, sitting third in the Eastern Conference, while Chicago came in at 17-18, looking to gain ground. As the first quarter unfolded, the Celtics appeared focused on establishing tempo and taking advantage of their depth. With plenty of basketball still to be played, both teams are settling in, but Boston's quick start gave the home crowd reason for early optimism as this game continues this evening. And that is your sports news for this Monday evening. And that does it for this Monday evening edition of WRMK News 12. Thank you for tuning in and watching. Have a great rest of your evening and see you back here tomorrow with more news coverage. Good night and goodbye.